अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतसी श्रीमान वैष्णव भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री राधा सरध्याजी की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। परम करुणा श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari Om. Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to daily Srimad Bhagavatam call reading. Hope everyone doing okay. We will continue to read from Canto 1, the creation, chapter 17. Punishment, there's the punishment reward of Kali, something like that. Punishment and reward of Kali. And text 12, we will continue and see what is conversation happening. What Sutta Goswami is narrating, the situation where Kali is standing and cow and bull are standing in the form of Mother Earth, and Dharma, now Parikshit Maharaj is standing there, witnessing. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Ko bruksha tava padam strin saurabheya chatuspada ma bhuvam stwadusarashtre ragyam krishnaanuvartinam. Ko bruksha tava padam strin saurabheya chatuspada Ma bhuvam stwadusarashtre ragyam krishnaanuvartinam. Ko brushchattava padam strin saurabheya chatuspada ma bhuvam stwadusarashtre ragyam krishnaanuvartinam. Please recite.
Ko vrishchatava padam strin saurabheya chatushpada ma bhuvam stvadrisha rashtre ragyam krishnaanuvartinam.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Ko avrishat tava padam strin saurabheya chatushpada ma bhuvam stvastra rashtre rajnyam krishnaanuvartinam.
Ko vrishchat tava padam strin saurabheya chatushpada ma bhuvam stavadrisha rashtre rajnyam krishnaanuvartinam.
Hare Krishna. Ko bruksha tava padastrin saurabheya chatuspada ma bhuvam stvadrusha rastre ragnam krishnaanuvartinam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Ko vrishchatava padam strin saurabheya chatuspada ma bhuvam stwadrisha rashtre ragyam krishnaanuvartinam.
Thank you.
Krishna. Govrishtava padamshtre saurabhya chatushpada ma bhuvam stvadrasya rastre yagnam Krishna vartinam. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Should we go? Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna. Govruscha tava padam strin saurebhya chatuspada mambuvam stvadrasharastre rajnam Krishna anuvartinam. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Nice. Thank you. So we go for synonyms, or anyone wants to recite? Okay. Very nice. Let's go for synonyms. Kaha, who is he? Abrashchat, cut off. Taba, your. Padan, legs. Trin, three. Sauravheya, O son of Suravhi. Chatupada, you are four-legged. You're four-legged. Ma, never to be. Bhuvan, it so happened. Twadrisaha, as yourself. Rashtre, in the state. Ragyam, of the kings. Krishna Anuvartinam, those who follow the codes of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation. He, Maharaj Parikshit, repeatedly addressed and questioned the bull thus, O son of Suravi, who has cut off your three legs? In the state of the kings who are obedient to the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, there is no one as unhappy as you. Purport. The kings or the executive heads of all states must know the codes of Lord Krishna, general Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and must act accordingly in order to fulfill the mission of human life, which is to make an end to all miseries of material conditions. One who knows the codes of Lord Krishna can achieve this end without any difficulty. In the Bhagavad Gita, in a synopsis, we can understand the codes of Godhead. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the same codes are explained further. In a state where the codes of Krishna are followed, no one is unhappy. Where such codes are not followed, the first sign is that three legs of the representative of religion are cut off, and thereby all miseries follow. When Krishna was personally present, the codes of Krishna were being followed without question. But in his absence, such codes are presented in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam for the guidance of the blind persons who happens to be at the helm of all affairs. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminite Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschat Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. The very important conversation happens, even though it is in the first canto. It's a very deep in spiritual journey, deeper understanding, individually and collectively. these conversations which is taking place between the cow and the bull and King Parikshit. So very interesting points has been made here by King Parikshit. He uses the word Krishna Anuvartinam, Ragya Krishna Anuvartinam. So before I speak, I would like to seek blessings all senior Vaishnavas. Please pray and bless so I can be able to share something which can be meaningful from this verse for my own benefit. So he says that Ragya and Krishna Anuvartinam. So we know the situation here is that Parikshit Maharaj is very, very powerful and devoted king. A king which is very powerful physically. At the same time, he is endowed with the true knowledge. The knowledge of Shastras is very much. Shastra and Shastra who knows to apply both properly. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that the kings or the executive heads of all states must know the codes of Lord Krishna. So without knowledge, it's incomplete. Without knowledge, it's incomplete. And especially, fortunately, during Maharaj Parikshit's time, the whole world was under him. So he had access to all countries, and he had access to go and challenge anything happens in any part of the world. Now, due course of time, day by day, the countries are being divided. You all notice we have so many countries, and every year it is dividing. So the rules also could be different. The rules also could be different. Many places, every place the rules are different. They make their own rules. But here it says that kings or executive heads of all states must know the codes of Lord Krishna. Actually, if you look into, that's my analysis. If you look into deeper analysis, that or majority of the rules, they appear kind of same. Some rules they change based on the locality, the influences happening. I heard that majority of the rule is actually rules are made now based on the the Vaishyas. Vaishyas means those people who help in economic development. Make sense? Industrialists, who help in economy in the country. I heard that a lot of influences to the rules and regulations of the state and country comes from them nowadays. So basically, Vaishyas and Sudra class of mentality, even Vaishya would have been very good though, but it's not the true Vaishyas. It's basically Sudras are making all these rules, but originally, all the rules has come from the same source. Dharmantu sakshat bhagavat pranitum. Dharma is the codes. The codes come from the Supreme Lord Krishna. That's in general, still many do's and don'ts we find is same in all over the through worlds. Many are different. So in that case, we can understand that it has come from one source. Many times people say that it has come from Manusmriti. And the other states at this time, they're against of Manusmriti. Oh, why Manusmriti? Those are against the Vedic culture. They say, why Manusmriti? They reject the Manusmriti. So we don't want to, this is all speculation. So in this way, different states are making different rules now and experiencing different consequences. But Prabhupada writes, the king or executive heads of the state must know the codes of Lord Krishna, such as Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and must act accordingly in order to fulfill the mission of human life. And what is the mission of human life? Not only free them from the miseries, temporarily give a very conducive life, to make an end to all miseries of material conditions. Actually. That's what Yudhishthira Maharaj did. Lord Krishna established Yudhishthira Maharaj, and citizens were very, very peaceful. Animals were very, very peaceful. Everything was going very, very nice and wonderful. Now, Parikshit Maharaj has come, and the time has changed. Actually, the time of Kali has already come. Time of Kali has already come. It is going to be a very big challenge in the age of Kali to retain those codes of Lord Krishna. One who knows the codes of Krishna, Lord Krishna, can achieve this end. What is this end means? He's saying the end of all miseries, to an end of all miseries of material conditions. So one who knows the code of Lord Krishna can achieve this end without any difficulty. Just 50 years back, we can see this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam literally was completely lost. Literally was completely lost. It is only in hands of very, very few devotees within the parampara. It's only within the parampara, and parampara tried to retain the purity, the authenticity of this message to disciplic succession, and struggled in their own way to bring up to this point, up to here. We know that how Lord Chaitanya came and established. We know that great souls, Narottam Das Thakur, and Jiva Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, and Baldev Vidyabhushan, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Prabhupada, they actually brought this authentic message of Lord Krishna. It was not a very easy journey. If there is no knowledge of the code, and where the question of establishing it, no one had a very authentic book what Lord Krishna spoke. So now we are very fortunate that we have books are floating all over. Tons of books are floating all over. Right, in our home we have so many authentic books has been given. But these are very rare messages. Not many has received it. So in the Bhagavad Gita, in a synopsis, we can understand the codes of Godhead. So if there is no book, we do not know what are the codes. If you do not know what are the codes, we will execute very whimsically. So that is the situation is happening in this world. So what happens is the actions of Kali, previous chapter we discussed, the actions of Kali is, his goal is how to destroy the dharma. His primary goal is that's the whole purpose, destroy the dharma in the age of Kali. And not only very what do you call? He's destroying very strategically. He destroys the Brahminical culture first, then he destroys the cow and bulls. Those are the Brahmana and cow, the essentials for a society's spiritual progress. Both. The Brahminical culture is destroyed. People have taken those who are not bona fide They have taken the position of a Brahmana. Those are not actual Kshatriyas. They have taken the position of a Kshatriya. Now, what is the result? So, first Brahmanas are destroyed, then the cows and bulls are being destroyed because they are in dharma. So the very essential ingredients for the spiritual society, that's what he said, Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmanitaya Cha Jagataya Krishna Govindaya Namo Namaha. If you follow the quotes, anyone who follows the quotes, they learn how to protect the Brahmanas and cows and bulls. And we can see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he actually challenged Kaji. He questioned him. He said, what kind of dharma you're following, religion you're following. You drink milk from the cow. This cow is your mother, yet you slaughter them. So when adharma, irreligion disguises himself in the form of a dharma, all these precarious conditions happens. Generally, when we have seen, I'm talking about myself, when I grew up in India, when we see the doctor means he'll come with an apron, white apron. Here also we see the doctors come with white apron because I think it's all coming from the West. So you develop a deep respect for those doctors. They are here, was nice doctors, respectable person, wearing white apron. Right. Now, in India, those who are butchers and those who are selling meat, they'll not be that clean. They will be just having one stall outside and cutting chuck. They'll be cutting this meat, especially the goat. They'll be selling. They will not present themselves as as with apron and all these things. But when you come to America, when you look into these grocery stores, there's a food section. They say, what do you call that one? Meat section. I don't know, something called meat section. What do we call the meat section? Poultry? Is it poultry or something? Anyway, something we call it. And you see those people who are handling meat, they come with a nice dress and with a white apron to it. Has anyone noticed that? White apron?
Yes, they wear a white coat. It's called the Delhi.
Delhi. And they present like a very perfect gentleman and doctors, as if like they're caretakers, but actually they're the butchers. Religionists also, they dress up like, very nicely with perfume and this and that and talk. But irreligion takes the dresses like a religionist. So these are some of the situations, symptoms of in the age of Kali, how the irreligion is disguised himself and put himself in an authority position, either as a king or as a what do you call, Brahmin, preacher, and in his own personal life he is unclean. So following Prabhupada writes in this verse, or Sutta Goswami, he says that in a state where the quotes of Krishna are followed, no one is unhappy. Because Maharaj Parikshit is a very responsible king. When he saw the condition of this bull and cow, he was very proactive. He really reacted to the situation immediately. Proactively came out of the country to see how the citizens are doing, and he reacted to the situation. And whereas now, there is no such thing. There is no such thing. very, very difficult. You go through that trouble, so many senior citizens go through that trouble. No one is there to listen to them, listen to their sorrow. Animals are suffering. No one is there to listen to their sorrow. It's the time of only very young and stout looks like. If you're young, you're stout, you have money, you can do something. If you don't have all this thing, you cannot do anything. Money talks. I have a relative who works in a passport processing in America. While processing the passport, American passport, you will see that there's a regular processing and there's expedite processing. Regular processing, expedite processing. If you want to expedite, you have to give a bigger check. Okay, here's this amount. And I was told that, if a small minor mistake comes in regular processing, so your application will be returned back. Say, okay, go and fix it. But when they see that this big check has been attached, all your minor errors and mistakes will be forgiven. Just simple example. So, similarly, I heard that a lot of businesses who are funding these politicians, and because this business is funding these politicians, the politicians has to listen to them. They have to make the laws which is conducive to all these business people. And these businessmen, they may be doing business in foul means, selling liquor, gambling, so many things they would be doing. But ultimately, they're influencing the government. And government makes the rule for the people. Government makes a rule. And what rule they make? Wherever they get the support from, they will do favorable. Ultimately, their goal is to remain in the seat. They want to continue to be in this position without caring for the courts of Krishna. They want to remain for years in that position, enjoy that position. Not like Parikshit Maharaj, who wanted to take immediate action on this irregularities or irreligion. So when such courts are not followed, the first sign is that the three legs of the representative of religion are cut off. What are the three legs of religion which is cut off? This is, we can see, the austerity, the cleanliness, and the mercy is gone. Austerity, the money comes from now easy money. Easy money comes from, so much of money comes from, I heard, from intoxication, selling. I don't know if drugs are legal or not. I don't know if drugs are legal or not. Maybe legal, narcotics or drugs or what do you call this? I don't know, ganja, marijuana. So these are legal or not, I don't know, but at least I know the wine stores are legal and you can have as much as you can. And taxes, if they bring the taxes, they are good citizens, And one leg is austerity is gone, cleanliness is gone. People want, people want easy life without responsibility. There's a lot of, even among the devotee family, there's discussion going on. Okay, what is good? Live in and try out and move on, or find out arrange and work out a nice partner and live and give Krishna conscious children. Even in devotee families also we see that devotees have different opinions. No, it's okay to have live in and live out and try out, and where you feel fit and just settle there. Because that's how the whole world is. Cleanliness is compromised. Mercy. Mercy is compromised because it depends again on the king, whoever gives the revenue. money. So that's also, so austerity, cleanliness, mercy is all three gone. Prabhupada, so Prabhupada writes, where such codes are not followed, the first sign is the three legs of the representative of religion are cut off, and thereby all miseries follow. So no wonder why people are suffering in this world. Dharma is to make life easy, peaceful, happy, healthy. In adharma, irreligion is absence of dharma and absence of all happiness, peacefulness, everything. All bad things can happen. When Krishna was personally present and the codes of Krishna were being followed, actually Lord Krishna established, very simple. But in his absence, such codes are presented in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam for the guidance of the blind persons who happens to be at the helm of all efforts. Now, question may be asked, is really any changes happening? As Krishna left, Srimad Bhagavatam has come, and still we see so many people are following the foul means of livelihood. But actually, if you notice that there's a big change, amazing change happens. I remember almost 15 years back, Ravindra Swarup Prabhu was mentioning that how the vegetarianism has, revolution came in that. People didn't know what is vegetarianism in 50 years back. Now, at least those people are vegetarian. Recently, I happened to attend sorry if you hear in the background. Recently, I happened to attend Dover Air Force Base. Dover Air Force Base is in Delaware. It is said that they are the second largest Air Force base in the United States. So they invited all religions, clergy members. So they invited, I didn't know much agenda, what they are trying to speak. I was thinking it's almost 4 hours, what they're going to speak. They're not giving us the opportunity to speak, rather they are speaking. I'm going to tell you the true story incident, what happened. So we went 9:30 and 9 o'clock, actually 9 o'clock went up 1 o'clock, very less break time, only half an hour break time. They literally took 4 hours to speak. Can you guess what they spoke? They spoke how much they are going through, how much trouble they are going through, how much help they need. In the 4 hours, army people are very organized and they will be to the point. Still for them, 4 hours constant speaking, how they are suffering, how the families are difficulty, they're always in stress and anxiety, how they're calling for this religious society, if they can help them in any way, to help their families to come out of it and help some food way or whatever way. Just sharing the army team is suffering. That's another point I want to state. So we are offering some prasadam to them. But the point is, in a state where the codes of Krishna are not followed, no one is unhappy. They themselves, lawmakers, law protectors, are not happy. Why? Because the codes of Krishna are not followed. Now, what are the codes of Krishna? It says, Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, so many. Are we going to go to all of them? We can go through it, but very nicely, only Krishna conscious movement provide nailed it down very carefully, nailed it down. What are the quotes? These are the things. Tapa, Socha, Daya, Satya. Tapa, Socha, Daya, Satya. Tapa means austerity, Socha means cleanliness, Daya means mercy, and Satya means truthfulness. These are basically, it's nailed it down. One, if you follow, there's a dharma, the religion. You're watering the religion. If you don't follow, they're inviting trouble. Then how Prabhupada also gave, how these quotes can be followed. Very simple. Just you refrain from these activities, and you are following dharma. Tapa you follow by refraining from intoxication. Socha you follow the cleanliness by getting the marriage, by married. And daya is you showing mercy by accepting vegetarian foodstuff and offering to Krishna. Daya. And satya is truthfulness, not as a foul means of living. Truthfulness. But I still see that a lot of devotees also try to get easy money, by through what stock, investing in stock and this and that. Looks like it's very difficult to come out of it. Every business has become like gamble nowadays. There is no chance to live a genuine life nowadays. All the businesses, almost 99% of the business has become very much gambling. I come from a place where the business people used to live in a small shops. They will sell groceries, rice, dal, oil, ghee, or whatever they sell. A very little profit they used to keep. That's the whole, it's called grocery store, small grocery store, and thousands of families they run by running this grocery store. It's called Vaishyas. But now the situation is that your daily dal price depends on your stock market, New York Stock Exchange, or some other stock exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange. Then rice, yours depends on the stock market. Your oil depends on stock market. Salt depends on the stock market. Such an horrible way of living. Who brought this kind of life? Literally impacting the lives of every individual day and night. A small business people who have nothing to do with stock market, they have no idea. Still, they are in anxiety. Price goes up or price goes down. They are in anxiety, and the customers in anxiety. Price goes up and price goes down. Now, Prabhupada writes, the remedy is, when we protect dharma, protection of the bulls and cows and all other animals can be possible only when there is a state ruled by an executive head like Maharaj Parikshit. And I was thinking there's hope that we can do our own little bit. But he writes in previous verse that protection of bulls and cows and all other animals can be possible only when there is a state ruled by an executive head like Parikshit Maharaj. Well, how is it going to be possible? So nowadays, the government is made by the people. If government doesn't take action, so these rules cannot be applied, improved. So if government doesn't take action, it cannot be stopped. I'm just sharing what Prabhupada says. And government is made by people, and people need to be educated. That means more devotees. If there are more devotees and more dharma we can see, because devotees can really influence the society. That's why we need, if we need the change, we need more and more devotees in the society. And if you need more and more devotees in the society, if you're desperate to bring change, then there has to be preaching. And I am devotee and I cannot just keep it to myself. Every one of us has to do our part to share and spread this message. And that is called movement. Then I'm just sharing what Prabhupada writes actually. He says that unless a state head become Krishna conscious, head like Maharaj Parikshit, these rules, protection of bulls and cows will not be possible. Recently, I took a project in India actually. Government helped us by acquiring some land. Finally, after a long time, acquiring some lands, some supporting for the protection. We took care of some cows rescuing from the slaughter and providing them and shelter. It is difficult, but it's going on. But that's also not the complete solution. You take all these cows and protect them. That's also not the real solution, because it's totally impractical. Every individual Vaishyas should be able to take up some of the cows. That way the work is divided. Few cows, couple of cows per family. The work is divided. One group of people cannot take up burden of hundreds of cows. That's going to be very, very difficult. These are some practical points I thought I will share today. Is one that a state head, is that who, reacts to the situation. He not just listens and sees the issues of the citizens and just keeps quiet, helpless, being influenced, corrupted by the so-called economist or capitalist. That's not very good. Second thing is, we have to do our part, by living with an example and preaching other. Third is, we also have to help educating others in whatever way. Somebody can influence thousands of people, somebody can influence only 2 people, but every head counts. Every head counts. And this way we can see that the both cow and bull can be still brought back to their own state, and chances are there that dharma can be re-established, because we are seeing. Yeah, another point I wanted to make, actually I got carried away by Dover AFB. You all will be very surprised to hear. Generally I don't eat when I go, because there's always meat handling is there. In an office, everything. So to my surprise, the Dover AFB did not provide any meat in breakfast, lunch, and snack, anything they didn't. There was no meat, absolutely there's no meat. Can anyone imagine it's happening in America? They provide the pasta, they provide the bread, they provide the salad and orange juice, all these things. There's no meat. And in India, it is impossible. In India, it's impossible that you have that gathering. Or this, you should be respectful for everybody. You should do this, do that. There should be a choice for everybody. You cannot force. There'll be meat. A lot of meat will be there in India. But Dover AB served absolutely free from, even I didn't see even onion garlic also, to my surprised. So it's working. It's working. I'm sharing this so that we can be positive. We should be inspired. We should continue to do our part, and change is taking place, slow but steady. So I would like to pause here. A lot of things I shared, I'm sorry, it's a very difficult subject matter. I would open up for discussions and corrections. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Vishnugata Prabhu, you want to share something? Corrections.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that if the government enacts the laws of Krishna, then everybody will be happy. But I thought in this world, happiness, you can't be happy. Dukale Amashaswatam, what about that?
Yes, that's right. Because at least happiness, what is referring to here, we did at the beginning, actually we did is permanently freeing, the goal of life to be freeing from all miseries permanently. Yes, the birth, death, old age, disease, and three kind of problems will remain. But what happens is, by the influence of e-religion, it exaggerates, or it becomes too much. It's true that happiness, miseries in this world cannot be completely destroyed, because it's a place of misery. But doesn't mean that one should exaggerate it, exaggerate in the sense expedite it or make it worse. Already bad, and we are trying to make it worse. So, so at least being Krishna conscious, one can live peacefully, keeping body and soul together, following and cultivating himself and developing consciousness, and proceed to the higher phases of life, or go back to the spiritual world. That way, we cannot really completely free from the miseries, but at least we learn about the nature of this world and go back to Godhead. But now what is happening is, one is getting miseries and disease at the age of 5, 10, 30. So much of diseases are coming. Become the bad food, bad oil, lifestyle. We are heading in wrong direction, and it's all sinful activities. Suffering has become more. That's what I could think about it. But thank you for bringing this point. Is it okay, or you want to say something else on that?
Oh, that's okay. I mean, if people are following the tenets of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then they're getting, the point is we should be getting spiritual happiness. And so material happiness and pleasure, not always, you can rely on that, but
Yes. Yeah.
The initial mistake of government is the conception that people are the body, and the people in government and the people they govern, both sides, they have that mistake. And because they make that original mistake, then there's so many other mistakes that follow. And if you're the body, then we have one life, and that's all we have.
Yeah.
So do whatever you can to get stuff to satisfy the body. Doesn't matter, because at the end you die. So then, that breeds that consciousness, which is taught in every school, is leads to all kinds of problems in society based on that, because greed will come, lust will become, so all those things follow from that one mistake. So Prahlad Maharaj then recommended Kaumara Acharit Pragyo Dharman Bhagavataniha. From a tender age, he recommended that people be taught the codes of religion, of Bhagavad Dharma, not just religion, but Bhagavad Dharma, understanding we're not the body and who is God, things like that.
Yes, yeah, thank you. At certain point that this is kind of like a dream which is going to happen, but I see at least in India and in America also, this revolution is happening, that people in India, many are pushing to introduce Bhagavad Gita in their curriculum now. So I have a feeling it looks like very soon is going to come, or some already introduced. Some schools already introduced, actually, as a very big change is coming. Once upon a time, it's completely hopeless. No one wanted. Now there's so many people are pushing for introducing Bhagavad Gita. And looks like there's a light on the other side at this time, and we see that in America also people are coming, accepting the yoga and philosophy, Bhagavad Gita, vegetarianism is a big change. A lot of demand is happening, and chanting Kirtan, people are taking very, very much interest. And in India also, I'm sure, I don't know much, have statistics from the other countries. India also, and this push is happening, that there's so many people now actively pushing to have Bhagavad Gita in their curriculum. Not sure much about which version, but there's a push to have Bhagavad Gita in the curriculum actually. So that's a very positive things to see. Thank you. Anyone else has anything to share, or should we stop here? Mother Jagannath Priya, you want to say something? Hare Krishna. Okay, share. Anyone else? All
My
right.
question is partially answered, but I was just thinking you were saying that even devotees are not, it's one thing when you don't know and you're making bad choices, but even devotees sometimes are not making the right choice. Then how will we, if we are hoping that devotees will elect the right type of government or right type of leader, but if devotees, after knowing what they know, are still not able to get out of those modes, then
Yeah, this world is, dualities, different opinions are there, different, we come from different cultures. Even though we come to the practice bhakti, but it takes time to really understand why the Lord Krishna has made all these codes. Sometimes devotees may like it. They may like it, Krishna consciousness, they like Kirtan, they like Prasadam, they like everything. But when it comes to details of the culture, it may take some time. Example, for many deity worship is not in the West. Deity worship is for them is very foreign. Accepting deity, but it takes time for them. So that's why they can, until they accept, there can be some opinions, different way of thinking, different way of living, and we have to accommodate in that and help them until they come to that understanding. So basically it leaves us also an opportunity to make sure that how we can embrace them and very patiently allow a person to grow and realize the importance, understand from what point they are coming. Vishnugata Prabhu wants to answer something, please.
You mentioned that deity worship. Deity worship is foreign. Every year we have the Rath Yatra in front of the art museum. And it's interesting that at the base of the steps of the art museum, when you're looking at the art museum on the right side, there's a statue. And there's always a long line waiting for the statue, and they give, they take pictures, they give offerings. So it, in the way we do it perhaps, but people are already doing that kind of worship, but not to, that's the Rocky statue.
Yeah.
Rocky. So they're doing some kind of worship.
Yes. Some, there are some, for them it's only rock only. And but in general, the lot of institutions, spiritual religious institutions, they are from childhood, they were taught in a culture which is for them, it's not very easy to make sense for them, but they like other aspects of similarly, nowadays, the marriages, how it happens, boy and girl, we all got married. My father, they helped us in finding a match, so we got it. But nowadays they want to live together, they want to try, it's a different way of making their choices. So there has to be a line has to be drawn. Okay, you should make the choices, you have freedom, but how you should be doing, so these all, culturally different, and it's the time, place, circumstances. Supposed to be in different localities, but in India also there's demand now. They want to live in culture same way what's happening in West. So there's dialogues happens. Different devotees are different. No, we should allow this, and then the devotees say, no, we should not allow this. The devotees say, oh, we should have varnashram system, and we don't have to worry about the varnashram system. These are there. It's naturally remain there. But we should not be carried away by all these dualities of this life. rather focus on the goal and understand the variegatedness of this world, and encourage each other in the right path. Some of the decisions are going to be hard. And on one another point is, especially with regards to, easy money, wherever gets more rate and we go for it. But if one is become really advanced, like so many Prabhupada's disciples who are living just very simple, bare necessities of life, they just take their, some khichdi in them day and study shastras. They don't depend on this day to day, gambling, in the sense that, applying 401, not 401k, what do you call, stock exchange and all these things. So that devotees who live very pure, that devotees who have no choice, who also make easy money. Point is, whatever way it is, you try to improve. Wherever you are, we try to improve our life. If you cannot change it, but at least try our best to support that change in the purest form. So in devotional service within the devotee community also, we will find these different diverse way of thought process. Isn't it true? I know it's getting late. It's what is the time now? It's 8:52. Mother Soharade, I think we will. This is a practicality when we have to accept. Last week we performed a play in our temple. Not last week, this Monday. I offered we performed the play of Sakshi Gopal, where the Brahmin offers his daughter in charity to the younger Brahmin, for his marriage. So after the end of the prayers, some devotees raised concern. Okay, we have to be careful how we present. In their point of view, they said that the trading of human is not present accepted very well in the society. Then I realized, yeah, they have a point also. We live in a society that's not possible, that's not appreciated much. Rather, we learn how to present it in such a way that no one gets offended. Still, we present the case. So it happens, though we have to live in a proper, conscious of each other's culture and present accordingly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Definitely, these are very serious things for us to consider. They have profound effect on the movement. Prabhupada did make adjustments, but there were certain places he did not compromise. And we are not Prabhupada to be able to make those decisions as easily. Yes, I do understand that we have to, but it's something that has to be given a lot of thought. It cannot be done frivolously, done, no, I'm not saying that anybody is. I'm just saying how serious it is. Like, you did a play and that play had that much consequence. So imagine how much thought has to be given on how to present. But again, Sakshi Gopal, that pastime is something we take seriously also. And just to not offend somebody's sensibility, do we not say what we need to say? Because we don't say it, that is where this situation is coming, where children are starting to say, it's okay. So then this little step is okay, then the next little step is okay, and the next little step is okay. And that is how things have gotten off track. Right. That's why there is no religion being taught in India, because of all these little tiny steps.
Yeah. Oh, what they will say, what he will say, what she will say.
Exactly.
Like compromised. Exactly. So, so there has to. There's another thing is there's empathetic learning kind of thing. So you understand, but at the same time just present what they can take at that time. then help them move forward. Then again, present what they can take, then help them move forward. Yeah, that's why it needs an expert
Yes.
to be able to present. We don't want to freak them out.
Mhm.
They run away. At the same time, we don't want to compromise also.
Yes.
We understand that person is in that situation. Okay, eat some prasadam, sing. Don't worry. If you're extending your leg during kirtan, okay, go ahead, no problem. But at least chant Hare Krishna fun now. Sit here in the kirtan. After 2 years, we'll tell, can you please fold your legs? Prabhupada also did the same thing. Oh, eat as much you want to eat. Halwa, eat full.
Mm.
Then one day he said, when they're in a position to hear Prabhupada, listen Prabhupada, he said that you should not eat that much. Huh? Said, yeah, that time you not listen to me. Now you're in a position you listen to me.
Mm.
So it is a not Prabhupada said this, it has to be like this. Rather, how we can apply in our life. At the same time, we should be compassionate and very careful in presenting others, not giving more than person can take, and helping them very gradually come out of this. Building the trust and relationship. So tomorrow, when you chastise, so they should be able to take it. Today, if you chastise, they will run away.
Yes, and then a lot of times we use time, place, circumstance, and so then each one has to be given very serious consideration. Time, place, circumstance. In certain places, certain behaviors cannot be accepted no matter what. That's also, like I hear what you are saying about being patient with new people, young people, but that same patience cannot be exercised at the temple, in the temple room, in front of the deities. So again, what I'm trying to say is exactly what you're saying, but we have to be careful that time, place, circumstance, every single time, Joel, not lightly saying time, place, circumstance, so this can be allowed.
Right.
This thing can be allowed in this place, but it can never be allowed in this place because of the place.
Yeah.
But again, I think the point is that we have to give it a lot of deliberation, not just lightly. And sometimes if I am not capable of such deliberation, it's okay, and I should let somebody else who is capable of giving that deliberation do the work, and I be told this is how you should do it. And for because there's a lot I don't know, so
we have to know the nature of this world at this time. People are very, very impatient now, intolerant. Tolerance level has gone so low. Okay, so much low that tolerance people cannot tolerate. And considering the disease that bad and you want to cure, we need an expert doctor also how to communicate.
yes.
And it's true, it cannot be accepted, but at the same time, it has to be communicated as it is supposed to be done. Many people, make the rules. Okay, please don't, extend your leg and do all these rules. Many people generally try to abide it. It's not like people don't do. So that's the way has to be very carefully done. That way, we encourage some other when soul comes to the Sangha. We encourage them to stay in the movement and help them to grow.
Yes. Long discussion, like you said, it's 9 o'clock. I think we should respect everybody's time. And thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for everyone's time. Vancha kalpatarivascha kripa sindhuvevacha patitana Vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarivascha kripa sindhuvevacha patitana. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Everyone have a wonderful day.